Hello and welcome. This is Sports Debate, where we give you a platform to place your mouth where your passion is, to show off your sport knowledge, and all arguments are spot on. I am Solomon Ajuziogu. Now, he was fondly called the Bullet Johnson, and exactly 30 years ago, he shocked the whole world. Ben Johnson was the pint-sized athlete from Canada who took the world by storm when he beat, well, arguably the fastest man of the time and the pride of the athletics world, Carl Lewis of the United States, on the biggest stage of track and field, the Olympic Games. While the whole world watched in 1988, Johnson surprised everyone, even though he held the world record at the time. But then, because this was where the stage is, by breezing past Lewis to win the 100 meters race of the Seoul Olympic Games. It was a puzzle the athletics world did not expect, or maybe they thought Lewis would have this day. And pronto, there was a drug test on him which returned positive for a banned substance, a steroid called stanozolol. The IAAF and the IOC stripped Johnson of the gold medal and disgracefully threw him out of the Olympic Games. Now, 30 years on, Johnson has discovered his sample appeared tampered with, and the reports, the doping reports, appear to have some discrepancies. This means he could have kept his medal on appeal. So we ask, should Ben Johnson go to court now to reclaim his gold medal and exonerate himself? That's the topic. 30 years on. You can join the TVC Sports Debate on Twitter at Sporting Solo TVC, or at TVC News NG, or better still, at TVC Connect, hashtag TVC Sports Debate.
Can't break.
And it's a fair start. And it is Raymond Kerr with a start. It is Ben Johnson with a start. Can Kerr catch him? No! It's Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson does it again. Unbelievable! It's Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson does it again. Unbelievable!
What a race that was. Ben Johnson breezing past Carl Lewis. Well, I have my gladiators in the house. One is an athlete and the other a journalist. And we are here to look at this. And both of them are appearing on the show for the first time. Ese Oguma. I hope I got that right. Yeah, you did. Or is it Ese Rogene Oguma?
Ese Rogene Oguma.
Ah, yeah, I got that. So I deserve a pass, Mark.
You do.
He's an athlete. You're welcome to Sports Debate.
Pleasure's mine.
And he's up against Dare Kuti of ACL Sports. Well, incidentally, Ese also runs an athletics website, Blog Sports, you know, yeah. Athletic Heat, right?
Athletic Heat.
And Dare Kuti, the one we call, he looks like Gattuso. I think he's also like a Zulu chief.
Well, Gattuso used to be my role model back then because I play football then. But all the same, it's a pleasure being on the show.
When people break rules, when people offend, you punish them. Some offense, some, sanctions, much punitive as they may seem, are also corrective. 30 years on, Ben Johnson, does he have a reason now to go to court? Even though he agreed then, he admitted to having used drug repeatedly or serially, but he says that for that Olympic Games, 6 weeks to that Olympic Games, he was not on anything. He didn't take any drug, except somebody spiked his system.
Yes, I think it's the right thing to do, to head to court, because there are several occasions where you have people wrongfully accused, and we've seen instances where people were pronounced guilty, and several years later, when investigations and panels were set, you see them declared innocent. So I think it's the right time for him to go. And when I actually made a little research, I learned the chief medical team of the Canadian team to the Olympics did not do anything when the allegations were coming. So I think something fishy happened there. So I think it's the right time for him to go back and reclaim this title, because when it was disgracefully stripped of this medal, so I think it should be gracefully decorated as the world record holder then, because these are champions then, and I think the world should know that he did or he did not actually use these steroids before or during the Olympic Games.
Wow, but Ese does not share that opinion because he is an athlete. But I worry that if you are an athlete and inadvertently you are found guilty of doping, even though you adamantly claim innocence, don't you think you also reserve the right to see your doping sheet, your doping report? Why did we have to wait till 30 years for Ben Johnson to see his doping report? And he says it was a conspiracy for him not to win it. If you were in his shoes.
If I was to be in his shoes, of course I would fight to see that my name is cleaned, you know, but for this case, I think he admitted that he has been taking steroids for like 8 years prior to that, you know, and coming up to these Olympic Games, he claims that he didn't take anything, but as an athlete, I don't think he should actually fight for that record. I mean, the medal that he won at that Games, because if you look at it, when he went on that 2-year ban, he came back in 1993, I think, you know, and then he got banned again, and then he got banned for life. Why should you, as an athlete, fight for that 1988 medal, you know, when in 1993 you got banned again? What's your innocence? Why should I even support you in the first instance for using steroids? It's a banned substance. He claims now that, you know, everybody used this thing, everybody used steroids, everybody ran that race not clean. Only 2 people, according to reports, only 2 people, you know, who actually ran that race that way, running clean. You know, but I feel you did this thing, you should let it go.
I won't. Okay. Let me give you the instance of Justin Gatlin. He was tested positive, he went on ban, came back, he was tested positive again, and he came back to beat Usain Bolt just 2 years at the World Championship. So for me, Carl Lewis, yeah. I think the guy should be investigated because he was the one championing this case. After Johnson defeated him, he went to the press and said Johnson is a cheat. Where should that come from? After beating Johnson 8 consecutive times, and this young man came into the race beating you, and you start crying foul. And we learned that a few days to the championship or to the doping test, a teammate of Lewis was at the bar with Johnson, and there was a huge probability that this man actually put in banned substance. So I think Lewis' teammates should be probed for his involvement in this case, and also Lewis, because he said that the medalist, this, that, and that. I think he should be actually investigated, and if found guilty, he should be punished for inciting the public and IOC against the former champion. For me,
I think they should let that thing go.
No, they shouldn't.
Because I don't see any reason, you know, Ben Johnson, when I've read through Ben Johnson's story, and he's trying now to exonerate himself and say, no, he did not do that, no, he did not do this. But as far as I'm concerned, you took this thing then, even though he claims, okay, 6 weeks to the commission.
Multivitamins, and that's one of the reasons why the Russian Olympic Committee are against the IOC, because they seem to be a little bit biased in their medical tests. And even the coach of Johnson actually wrote an article against the IOC. So there are some athletes who the IOC, and you should not forget, we also have a tennis star who they repeatedly test. That's Serena Williams. Maybe she's on steroid. And if Wozniacki was tested, she was stripped of her medal. And if she's found innocent, I think these athletes, including Johnson, should be decorated back. He has faced so much shame. He has faced so much humiliation. So I think this is the time to repay him for accusing him wrongly because they've...
Johnson so many times has said this, even in one of the reports. He said that no athlete, you know, can actually train for 40 hours a week and not use something. He's actually admitting that he actually
He admitted
something.
he used
But
before the tournament.
He is even saying
we have instances where athletes take Zobo, and we call it Zobo in Nigeria, and they don't know that this Zobo contains banned substances. Will you blame them? You won't.
But he knows he took all those things. You know, because he's saying that, you know, if you would break down even 6 or 7 weeks if you don't use anything in your body.
Multivitamins.
Not multivitamins.
All
He's
athletes use multivitamins, including...
He said steroids.
Steroids are multivitamins.
But I mean, you shouldn't use steroids as an athlete.
Well, I would have thought that normally, because of the intensity of these individual sports and the grueling regime you have to go through, that for you to to rejuvenate most of the time, you need certain enhancements in training.
Yes, of course.
Now, it depends on the period within which you use it to a tournament where it does not reflect. For instance, if you have a 6-week training period and you use this substance to aid you in training, and then you have a tournament 6 weeks later, and then you have stopped using this substance 6 weeks later to the point where it does not have a significant influence on the outcome of a race when you go into the race, and where traces of it will not even be found. You know, I thought that these are two different things. Like in boxing, people use these things all the time.
I know. But in this case, you say it was found in him. And if it was found in him, then he should accept it because I've read so many statements. I'm standing on this, that I've read so many statements, and he's of the opinion that you cannot run clean. Like, you must use all these things.
You know, there are times when you have been accosted and you have no other choice than to tell lies on yourself. You understand? You know, when they are doing some investigations, and for you to let the shame go, for you to let the pains and the emotion go, you have to just admit wrongfully. But the IOC have come to their senses now, and they agree that these results were tampered with. And Carl Lewis, being a bad loser, before then said he had stomach issues, that he had virus in his stomach, before he came out again, and he was accusing Johnson of taking steroids. So I think there's something really, really fishy. Every athlete, they do take multivitamins.
But this isn't, this is a banned substance. I
5 years ago,
some banned substance and come for a competition.
Some multivitamins were proclaimed steroids some years back because they were seen to be enhancer. So I think these multivitamins Johnson took at that time might...
Well, what he is even saying is that he didn't take it. So it's possible that an athlete does not take this thing, and so he insists that he did not take it.
At that point.
At that point. And so having known that, look, this is the period that this thing, the gestation period that this thing operates within the body, he did not take it. But that the substance, the volume of the substance that was found in him during the test was enough to kill a normal human being who was not an athlete. That it was so huge that he wouldn't have knowingly taken such a thing for that period, that it will kill someone. So what he's saying is that he did not take it, except somebody else administered it on him without him knowing.
And that is the reason why he needs to go to court and reclaim his medal. Like I said earlier, a friend, a teammate of Johnson was actually in the same bar with...
Of Carl Lewis,
was actually in the same bar with Johnson, and somewhere, somehow, there are strong allegations that he slipped this banned substance.
Were you sleeping? Were you sleeping?
No.
Your opponents will come and then you are there.
No, there are times when you relax with your teammates and you feel comfortable.
No, you can't be too comfortable when...
You know, there's an adage in Yoruba that says that if the enemy inside cannot kill you, then the outside, you don't have anything to worry about the enemy outside. So this guy was very, very close. And you know, guys, there's a way we distract you and say, look at that stuff over there, and he slips it in. Okay,
so what I read about that Carl Lewis guy putting something in the drink was that he went to the fridge, the refrigerator, and brought out a drink and gave that drink to Carl Lewis, to Ben Johnson, I mean. And Ben Johnson actually took that drink. Now, I'm wondering, this is something my coach has always told me. never get something from your opponent, never get anything from even your teammates.
Maybe he didn't know he was
I mean, but I would
competition.
I mean, you know, you are not meant to take anything from
No,
anybody.
I can walk up to you in a tournament and say, "Wow, nice game,"
Well,
and give you a
I will
drink.
collect it.
You will.
Well,
I would not
in the
collect
spirit
it.
of
ago, they probably wouldn't have known that it was at that
I mean, in the
level.
spirit of
He's a top
sportsmanship.
athlete. No, not
30
spirit of
years ago,
sportsmanship.
they probably would have
I
known.
IOC preached unity, Olympics, you understand this?
Respect.
Respect, and that's why you have the 5 circles together. That's a bond. So if I walk up to you, whoa, nice race over there, and I hand you over a drink,
You won't collect it.
The sports debate today is about Ben Johnson, the Canadian bullet speedster, the man who ran like the bullet train. He ran a fantastic race, probably one of the highest levels of the Olympic Games, one of the highest events, the 100 meters final of the 1988 Olympic Games in Seoul, South Korea. And he beat Carl Lewis. And then he was disgraced out of the Olympics when he was stripped, having found to have used stanozolol, a steroid. And Ese Oguma here says, well, it's a shame. It was a shame for the sport back then. And 30 years on now that he has found out that, well, there were some discrepancies in the doping sheet in the report, and it appeared that the stuff was tampered with. He feels, well, he should remain banned and he should carry his cross. But Dare Kuti here believes that he should go to court to exonerate himself, because that's the topic we're dealing with today. Should Ben Johnson go to court to reclaim that medal and exonerate himself? Dare Gattuso Kuti says no, he should go to court. Let the court prove these points, because there seemed to have been evidence of some complicity, some conspiracy in the whole allegation. Well, what do you think? You can join this debate by sending your tweet to me at Sporting Solo TVC or at TVC News NG, or better still, at TVC Connect, hashtag TVC Sports Debate. It is still Sports Debate with me, Solomon Ajiziogo, and the topic we're looking at today is Ben Johnson. 30 years after, he has discovered, he has seen the doping report that was responsible for his being stripped of the gold medal of the 1988 Olympics 100 meters and disgracefully thrown out of the games. And it appeared it was tampered with. There are discrepancies on the doping sheet. So we ask, should he go to court to exonerate himself now? Dare Kuti Gattuso of ACL Sports says
he should
go to court and exonerate himself. But Ese Oguma, an athlete and a blogger who runs the Athletic Heat, says no, as an athlete, this is not, it won't be good for the sport. He admitted to using steroids.
Because even Myron Jones, you know, that was like, I think that was the 2000 Olympics where she won 3 gold medals and 2 bronze medals, I think. You know, she got stripped of everything. And that is one thing steroids do. That is one thing, when you use banned substance, you get disgraced. So but you have to go away from
a private investigation was done by a newspaper, and they found out that this guy's sample was tampered with. For crying out loud, someone entered into the medical lab and altered his urine test.
Is it today that they are noticed that they are finding out that one?
If you're a coach and your athlete was actually accused wrongfully, you have to go to the court and clear that your athlete's name.
See, there's nothing to be cleared in this issue, because Ben Johnson is someone who everybody knows. If you really know the Ben Johnson story, you will know he's someone who, him and steroids, him and drugs are like 5 and 6. Because
but after that incident, his world record before the Olympic Games was not cancelled. It was just that time that was said at the Olympics that was cancelled. He had the world record before that time.
Yeah.
That record was not scrapped.
well, I have no idea why it wasn't scrapped.
Look at the issue of Tiger Woods. Just of recent, he was pronounced innocent on one of his court cases. And now, Tiger Woods, everybody is saying Tiger Woods, his sponsors want to come back. I think Ben Johnson, if he actually goes to court and his name is cleared, Canada actually gave him one of the highest award then. the Canadian country and the nation will actually pronounce him one of their role models because he was a role model then. And when he was found guilty, you know what? Look at the issue of Ronaldo now. Look at the issue of Ronaldo because of the issue he has. Some sponsor wants to pull out. So if Ben Johnson goes back to court and IOC gives him back his medal, he will become a role model to even upcoming
you know that
athletes.
He wasn't just disqualified from the 1988 Olympics. In 1987, you know, when he won the World Championships, he also got that medal stripped of him. Even if you check on his Wikipedia page, what is even there is 9.95.
9.95. He has 9.95. That was 1986.
Yes, that's what is on his page, and not even 9.83, which means
well,
that record
two times Commonwealth gold medalist.
Because he was stripped of the 87 medal.
Yes, he was.
Okay, fine. But at the time, in 1987, he was no substance was found in him.
I don't know how they linked the 1987 and 1998 together, but I'm just particular about the 1998. Okay. 1988, I mean, yeah. Yes, you know. And for me, when an athlete gets banned, you know, like when I've heard about Derwin Chambers and the rest who got banned.
Lance Armstrong.
You know, all those guys.
Lance Armstrong was only discovered once.
Once.
For one event, and then suddenly they had to strip him of all the rest because he admitted to having done that for over a period of time. Probably that's what happened.
I think so. And even Derwin Chambers, you know, like all the money he actually even made, he was asked to pay back.
No, I think they will have to compensate. IOC will have to compensate
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson. Because when you mention Ben Johnson, it takes you back memory lane, one of the greatest runners in the world, setting the world record, winning an Olympic Commonwealth Games medal in the 104x1. And this a role model. When they say, oh, that guy runs like Ben Johnson, he's athletic, and all of a sudden, it was disgracefully. In fact, it was specifically written, disgracefully stripped. So they should gracefully honor this man, and I'm sure he's going to become the role model of so many
I'm an
athletes.
I'm an athlete. And to be honest, if such a thing happened to me, I would actually fight my way to see how my name gets back. Yes, of course. No, of course, because a good name is better than riches.
So now this guy didn't, 30 years ago, the situation is different from 30 years ago. Athletes probably have greater liberty now to challenge things. Maybe then it wasn't like that then. Now that he has found out that now, I mean, he just got the report just last month. And it's like, oh, I should have kept my medal. That's what Ben Johnson is saying.
And that is why he needs to head to court.
Okay.
And I insist, anywhere Ben Johnson is, I think is my hero.
Wow.
He's my hero. So
how could you make somebody who is acknowledged? You know, perception is a very big thing.
Definitely.
And the perception is that he's a cheat.
He's not. He was accused. He was wrongfully
At this moment, he's not been exonerated.
And I'm sure he's going to be exonerated when the court of competent jurisdiction looked into this matter with the evidence Toronto Star are presenting.
Using this current situation of the 1988 to say that he's because of that he's not a cheat?
He's not a cheat.
Because of the 1988,
he's
then
not
I'm
a
not going
cheat
to accept that.
because
no way.
The reason why I'm saying he's not a cheat because most times, even as a human being, when you do stressful things, they tell you to take vitamins, they tell you to take protein.
Yes,
so as an athlete now, as an athlete,
some of the creams you use could get into your bloodstream. And
that's why we have to be very careful of what we use.
Well, what of people who contract HIV due to no deliberate effort?
Not in sports.
Well, not in sports.
I mean, there are some incidents that can actually happen unknown to you that can make you get banned for some reasons, you know. But then this Ben Johnson story, he has come out to say, "Now, what did they do? It is me."
But the coach is also.
The coach has also accepted
his former coach, who used to be an Olympic champion and a world champion, is coming out to say that the process and procedure the IOC go out with their doping test is a little bit shaky.
See,
and even the Russian...
Your closing remarks, that's your closing remark.
So my closing remark is, I hope and I wish Ben Johnson goes to court, challenge the verdict of the 1988 decision that was made by IOC and reclaim his name and his title. And I'm sure this will also serve as a deterrent to some of these doping guys who accuse people wrongfully.
For me, I would say that this should actually serve as a lesson to more athletes. You know, that you should stay clean. You should be very, very careful of people you relate with on the track, because you don't know the next person. And as far as I'm concerned, this Ben Johnson issue, it should be followed up. It should be followed up, I mean, and if truly, if they get to investigate that he's right, then cool. But I'm saying that using of steroid, which he claimed to use, is not a good thing. And it should,
before the event.
It should not be, it shouldn't be encouraged in the sports.
Well, you've heard from our gladiators here today, and the argument is, should Ben Johnson head to the court to clear his name, to exonerate himself of the accusation of being a cheat? He was stripped of the 100 meters gold medal and the world record in 1988 in Seoul. Over 100,000 people packed into the Seoul Olympic Stadium. There was a massive crowd to watch that race. It was the race to end all races. That was the title of that race. Carl Lewis versus Ben Johnson. But then, 2 days after, it was bad news. Bad news that he's been found to have cheated. He tested positive to stanozolol, a steroid. And today he claimed, well then he claimed to have been innocent. 30 years on, he has just found out that there are discrepancies in the doping sheet, in the doping report. And it appeared that his sample had been tampered with. And he said he could have kept his medal. Ese Oguma says no, he admitted to being a cheat after that incident, and that he used steroids serially. But Kuti Dare Gattuso says no, he should head to court to clear himself. If the procedure for proclaiming him a cheat was wrong, then he should challenge it and he will come clean. What do you think? Should Ben Johnson head to court to clear himself and reclaim that title? What will it mean for athletics? What will it mean for the anti-doping agency? You can contribute to this debate by sending your tweets to me at Sporting Solo TVC or at TVC News, and you're better still at TVC Connect, #TVC Sports Debate.